Hello, welcome to the Daily Political Tarot and Astrology here on the Black and Orange channel. Thank you so much for being here. I am literally here every single day of the year without exception. Every single day, every weekday, weekend, holiday, your birthday, my birthday, I am here to take your political questions out of the chat. So just put your questions in the chat before I come on, political questions. I don't do personal readings, although I do have suggestions if you want personal readings who you can go talk to, like Lori at The Way of Positive Change, or Jen Lynn at Jen Lynn Tarot, or if you'd like a Lenormand reading, Becca at House of Lenormand. Highly recommend. Anyway, 10% of my income from everything Black and Orange goes to Feeding America at feedingamerica.org, which supplies food to food banks across the country. It's an ongoing thing. We have epic troll slayers who keep us safe. Thank you. And we've got a fantastic community here because of you, because you've been so kind to me. You've been so kind to each other. Thank you. And if you're watching on replay, hello. You can go down in the description box. All the questions are listed there, and you can pick and choose what you're interested in, or you can watch back on like 1.25 speed, whatever works for you. All right. Yes, indeed. Michael Hill, happy Catterday. So the full moon was this morning, and it is technically the snow moon, I believe. But anyway, I've been waiting weeks and weeks to use this image. So, all right, let's jump in. I have to say, because around here, don't we love Cash Peters? We love Cash Peters. He's so good, and he's so funny. And of course, the art. I love the art. I love the art. Anyway, I was listening to his latest post, and he said, he was talking about, whether some of the Republicans might be willful idiots rather than, like purposely being Russian spies or something. And he said, like Comer, I get the sense that he's not very bright. And I lost it. It's like, oh, truer words have never been said. Anyway, I just wanted to point that out. Joyce Matthews I may have messed up the quote, but that was the upshot. Barbara Almeida, I joined Patreon today. Oh, excellent. Thank you. Before I get into the questions, I'll just say tonight is our monthly Patreon get-together. The link is in the description box. I do not have super expensive tiers. And we're getting together. What happens during the monthly social is anybody who's a patron, it's a private live stream, but everybody who wants to can come on screen. You know how, oh, sorry. You know how on, like, if you watch the Petty Boots Club on Sunday night, you get like 4 or 5 people, 6 people on the screen. It's like that, but you patrons can come on screen and we have a discussion, or you can stay in the chat and just watch. You can put faces to names, people you've seen in the chat. It's great stuff. And tonight we're starting our conversation with a discussion about both people who believe they've seen the figure of the angel of death, and people, children, how children around the world in describing God have the similarities in what they create and experiences with that and stuff. So that is tonight from 8 to 10 p.m. Starting next month, the Patreon monthly socials on the last Saturday of the month. I'm going to move it an hour earlier, so it's going to be from 7 to 9 starting next month. All right, on to questions. At 4 minutes 40 seconds in. Oh, the sublime and the stupid, all mixed together. This is why we go through the news together. All right. 5 minutes in, even. So, Trump's attorneys were required to submit a proposed order for Judge Engoron to sign that conform to his verdict and judgment in the case. In other words, you owe money, spiff. They complied, but in the process, it seems that Trump is trying to pull a fast one by changing all the addresses to companies in the order to Florida. AG James was not having it and filed a request for Engoron to have it fixed. Will Trump's latest attempt to swindle the courts backfire on him? First of all, you have a judge who told you, he said, this man shows no remorse, none, zero, zip, nothing, which is one of the reasons why the penalties were so harsh. And now he turns in the information and has changed all of the addresses to Florida. So it would technically fall outside of Engoron's sphere of influence. Isabel Moss says, you actually saw this a while ago in the cards. Oh, I remember that because he wasn't done. He has no ethics, zero, zip, nada. So is this going to blow up in his face? Because Letitia James is not having it, and I doubt Engoron's going to. Elizabeth Schuyler Hamilton says, but wouldn't you need to do more than just write a different address on the legal paperwork? Yes. Rob D is asking, Trump Tower. Oh, it's Florida now. 40 Wall Street in Florida too. Saying who the LLC that owns the company, that owns it as an asset. Oh, that's in Florida. I mean, this is staggering. Carol says, I had mentioned this in the chat yesterday. Oh, I thank you for that, but I do. I didn't see it yesterday, or I would have been happy to read on it. Anyway. Kelly says part of why 45 was a desperate extension of time. Oh, yes. 9 of Wands. Oh, he feels all beaten up. You mean they're trying to take his ill-gotten gains away from him? Poor little corrupt bunny. Isabel Moss says, Carol Tower sounds good to me. Yes. Carol Tower. Although, I don't know about you, but the first thing I would do with Trump's 3-floor penthouse apartment is, if I had the money, redecorate and just rip out all that tacky garbage. Ugh. Anyway. This is out in the cold and poverty. So communicating to pretend that he's sitting pretty and no, you can't touch this stuff. Or it doesn't really, we're just going to change the addresses. Because the thing is that even if he tried to, I don't know exactly how he's worded what he put in, but even if he's trying to say, oh, okay, no, I'm going along with it. We've just happened to have changed the addresses of the LLCs to Florida. But that doesn't change your ruling. Watch them try to bring it up for appeal. It might be a play for appeal. But this is a big old hangman like, oh, no. This is also holding him up by his ankles and shaking him until the coins fall out of his pockets. And 2 of Cups. This actually feels like Engoron and Letitia James saying, no, working together, partnership. Get this done. Not going to fly. Now the question is, will Trump get into trouble for trying to pull this garbage. Oh boy. Man. Oh boy. Trump really thinks he's gonna turn this into a victory? By the way, you realize how much smoke Haba's blowing up his girdle, right? And that's why she's still there, because she is constantly agreeing with him, no matter how insane it all is, because she already got her money and she's hoping for more. And as long as she makes money from it, isn't that all that matters to her? Is he going to get into trouble for this? Your days of playing these games are over. And he thought, because when you're a star, they let you do it. He thought he could just go in there and pull back a few little things from them and get away with it. No. TikTok. And they will aggressively go start repossessing stuff if you do not pony up. Because as of yesterday, I believe it was, when the paperwork was signed, I want to say that starting yesterday starts the 30 days. So heck, you got an extra week, because the ruling came down a week ago yesterday. So the 30 days where he has to pony up all that money either to pay it or to appeal starts yesterday. TikTok. And he has to walk away. He has to leave all the stuff and walk away. So I don't know if they're going to press criminal charges on him over this. They should. But I'm getting it is so not going to work. Oh, with bells and cherries on top, and oh, the failure. Oh, thank you, Diane. Thank you. Thank you for being here. It is so much better going through the news with you. Oh, okay. Anyway. And by the way, I've moved the camera off the top of the computer, so when I hit the desk, because it's a standing desk, it's a little wobbly. Hopefully I'm not wobbling. So we should be okay. All right. Moving on, because yesterday Trump had a speech, and you think it was nuts before. We are headed into epic levels of Looney Tune. All right. South Carolina was the stage of an 1.5-hour speech from Trump yesterday. All right. He touted that his losing, which he will, he touted that his losing would create the biggest stock market crash in history. And he promised to have Nikki Haley investigated by the DOJ. Okay. If that doesn't quite compute, yeah, it doesn't. All right. He told the arena of supporters that the Justice Department could launch a handful of investigations into Haley, but he wouldn't name for what crimes. So you're complaining the DOJ has been weaponized against political opponents, so you get up there and threaten to weaponize the DOJ against your political opponents. It doesn't, yeah, it doesn't. I guess some of this stuff is starting to not hurt my brain as much because I'm not expecting it to make sense. Just. Also, he made a bunch of nonsensical remarks that no one understood, and then, okay, there's a picture. I warn you, this will make you a little queasy. There's nothing actively gross about it, like, nothing that because I always like to keep things on this channel in kind of a daytime major network TV levels of clean. But the other thing he did, look away if you've got a weak stomach. He went around caressing the faces of female attendees. Ew. Ugh. Okay, we can stop that because okay, so what the heck is going on? Is he just the other day he was 3 hours late? Tried to blame it on the flying in. Maybe that was the weather. Maybe that was an issue, but going around just face. Mr. Germaphobe is going around caressing the faces of attendees, female attendees. But he's a germaphobe. No, he's not. He just thinks he's above all the little people, so he shouldn't have to shake hands or unless there's a woman there, in which case he can do whatever he wants. They let you do it. When you're a star, they let you do it. I saw that, Jen. Thank you. So, what in the blue blazes? What is going on with Trump? Is it just the stress and lack of sleep, or Four of Cups? Okay. Entertainment only. This card, I usually mention that this is a card of refusal, the Four of Cups. Like, no, not taking it, being offered this cup. But there's another meaning for this card, which is, no thanks, I don't want more, because you've already got 3 cups. And traditionally, cup cards are medical. Medical, like medicine. And you're full up. So what is up with Dumpy? Oh, okay. This is where his own pathology starts kicking in. Because the thing that I've always picked up, much to my disgust, is that Elizabeth B says sage immediately. The thing I've always picked up about Trump is that he has very violent fantasies about what he wants to do to people who cross him, about, just anybody who he thinks has wronged him, any woman who's turned him down, anyone who's gotten in his way. Let's face it, he is an R word. I don't like triggering anybody, so I don't want to say it, but he's an R word. And a jury of his peers said, yeah, he is not sick in the sense of he needs help, he'll never take help. Now, you see, the fantasies, the super violent, awful fantasies, are kind of a double-edged sword, because on the one hand, they make him feel better. But on the other hand, when he's trying to picture what's going to happen to him, he starts being afraid that those horrible things are going to be done to him. That he's not the only one thinking these things. This man, I do believe this man is literally afraid of that. He's afraid that there is actually a possibility he's going to be literally dragged through the streets. So it ends up, that causes a lot of stress. In reality, no. He's never going to get dragged through the streets. Even if Secret Service was pushed away, he would never get dragged through the streets. And come on, this is a blue channel. We don't want to do that. We want him to go through we want him to be held accountable lawfully, like anybody else would, having committed the crimes and potential crimes that he has. We want a fair trial with evidence and representation and a fair judge. And if he's found guilty, we want him treated like everybody else. That's it. Malting's Cottage, lock him up. If that's what the court finds in a fair trial, yeah. But he doesn't see it that way. So his own stress level. First of all, he's a thief. We know that. And what's interesting is part of Trump's narcissism is there is a certain amount of self-destructive force in it, because way, way down deep, he does know what a horrible human being he is. He just does. So there is some self-sabotage there. Unlike Ivanka, who absolutely believes she's above it all, that she's better than everybody else, that laws don't apply to her, nothing applies to her. She really believes it. She really believes she is untouchable. So anyway, he's afraid of this extremism. He's a thief. He's trying to plan his way out of this, but he is. I tell you, I'd much rather be in my head than his. Let me tell you. I would take my life and my friends over him, and any day of the week. Any day of the week. I like people. I believe the vast majority of people are just trying to get through the day. And they're not horrible. They're just not. Are there horrible people in the world? Oh, there are some heinous people, but it's just small. It's a small number. And most, they're just trying to get through the day. And then I would say the majority of those, like at least half of those, are just good people. They just are. So, but he's caught up, and it just feels like he's trying to get the presidency, and he's just caught up in this. This man needs therapy. Like, we need air, but he's not going to do it. And narcissism is one of the diagnoses that therapists find that they just don't ask for help, of course. So yeah, it's a mess. Whew. Anyway, Louis Tavalis's exorcism. It's a funny joke, but no. And that the only reason I'm pushing back on that, and I appreciate you, trust me. The only reason I'm pushing back on that is I've had people come to the channel over the years and just swear up and down he's possessed by demons, he's the Antichrist, it's all of this stuff. And it's like, no, he's a guy. He's just a guy. He's just a rotten person who's chosen, he has chosen to be a rotten person. There are people who are in much more abusive, who had much more abusive childhoods than he had, who grown up and said, it stops with me. And they are lovely and they break the cycle, and or whatever the situation is. He was raised in a very, very cold environment. It's a horrible combination of being spoiled and emotionally neglected, if not put down, which makes her a really vicious brat, and that's what he is. So anyway, oh, Joanne, I wouldn't say he's a typical Gemini. I mean, Johnny's over on Tara's Apprentice. Johnny's a Gemini, and man, that's a superpower. I think I'll have an 8-hour live stream. I'll have an 11-hour live stream. It's like, wow. And he's a good guy. Yeah. Johnny, I trust. Trump? Oh, God, no. All right. Speaking of you, Lewis, we've got your question up now. 2710. I've read on this any number of times, but we haven't checked in a while. We haven't checked in a while. And also, I love your wording of this. There's a rumor that Melatonin is thinking of divorcing Smellvis. What say the cards? Yeah. Visualize 70 says, wouldn't you say that Trump was brought up in a transactional environment? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Amelia, not all Geminis. No. But every sign can go bad. And when they do, it's usually really ugly. But anyway, all right, Melatonin, are you going to divorce Smellvis? I wonder if part of the reasons why he's going around touching women's faces now is because he can. She's not around to bother him. He's not even trying to put up a front of being faithful. The other night he did say something about your favorite first lady, Melania, blah, blah. And it's like, really? Where is she? Yeah, done. Dunzo. Done. That's that. Yeah. Just Four Swords is legal silence, and in this deck, that is a bed with a woman in it alone. Page of Wands, Five of Wands, Five of Swords, the Star, and the Knight of Swords. That's a whole lot of legal stuff. Whew. Page of Wands. This is trying to protect Barron. This is him as Trump's son. Not that, because he keeps calling Barron Melania's son. Nice. Five of Wands, Rancor, adding insult to injury. There's the Star, and there's the all the legal stuff that's coming. At bare minimum, she just wants to be out of the line of legal fire. And yeah, she's adding insult to injury. Just no thanks. Bye. Nah. Mm-mm. Elizabeth Schuyler Hamilton says, I've heard that Stinky doesn't like Barron because Barron is taller. Yes. And Barron speaks Slovenian to his mom. That would do it. They're together for now. Although, do keep in mind that Barron turns 18 in March. Now, maybe she was waiting until, it depends what their prenup, postnup says, their legal agreement to make certain that she and Barron can walk away and be set up. Even before, when things were a little bit better, she wanted Barron to be in charge of the European arm of the Trump company. Not here. So CC Ryder says, I really wonder if Rosalind Carter's funeral impacted her when she saw what real love was after hearing the love letters that Jimmy wrote her. Yeah, that had to sting. She just wants the money, honey. Temperance, King of Cups, Hierophant. I really wonder if Melania doesn't have a man in her life that she keeps hidden to make certain that she keeps it on the down low, hugely on the down low, because she doesn't want to risk losing money. And we saw how things went between them at her mother's funeral. So David Minor, yeah, it was transactional, but all she's doing is angling for a better deal. But there is no love between them. Mm-mm. No. Okay, so at 33 minutes in, Kristen from Uncover the News, excuse me, was giving me all kind of information this morning. So, Trump, dumpy shoes, the ugly things, the things you bake potatoes in, those hideous things, yeah, that Trump doesn't even own. He's just hawking them. It's the company who set up his NFTs who actually, that's their part of their business. So he's trying to raise money by hawking something that has his name on it, but he didn't make it. It's not his business. Anyway, turns out those ugly shoes have red bottoms. Guess what? Ever heard of Louboutin? The high heels with red soles? It's trademarked. Those, yes, Lewis, the Air Fuglies, yes. Red soles. And red soles are trademarked. So red bottoms on shoes are trademarked by Christian Louboutin. Will the manufacturers of the Trump shoes be hit with a cease and desist, considering there are no refunds if you buy them? I don't know anything about that, Elizabeth. Yes, CC Ryder, Con Airs, yes. Ay, ay, ay. Temperance, That's a card for the reading. And if ever there was a card for a cease and desist letter. Okay, Knight of Wands, Hermit, Hierophant, Page of Swords, King of Cups. He's out there trying to gin up attention. That whole shoe thing really blew up in his face when he was booed and all of that. This would be the trademarks, the government, the institutions that set the rules. Page of Swords, King of Cups. If they are hit with a cease and desist letter, it would end up in a lawsuit. The lawsuit would go on for a while. I've got Trump having much bigger things to worry about. Will it hurt him eventually? I think so. But Trump has much, much bigger things to worry about. Yeah, David Minor, get in line. That's exactly what I'm getting. Yeah, get in line. Let's see if there's any more information. He's already on the defensive. Ace of Cups, Moon, High Priestess. I also have to wonder. I wonder if Louboutin would also go after Trump for whatever proceeds he made from this. But this is definitely not good for Trump. But I don't know. It's down the road, way down the road. So, all right. All right. All right. Let me jump to. Oh, by the way, we talked about possibility at 37:45. We talked about the possibility of Lara Trump becoming co-chair of the RNC, Republican National Committee. She didn't. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Lara. Bye-bye. Hi. Chris LaCivita, I believe his name is. Correct me if I'm wrong. Chris LaCivita will be taking over the RNC. Not Lara Trump and his other puppets, Trump's other puppets. When LaCivita was asked if the RNC would continue to pay Trump's legal bills and fines, LaCivita answered, no. When asked for clarification, he replied with an emphatic, effing no. That was the clarification. Is this a sign that things are changing at the RNC? Could we have some clarification? Yeah. That was good. David Minert says, "Don't love him too much. He's still RNC chair." Oh, absolutely. I'm more chuckling at the situation and Trump's reaction. Do I have any good feelings towards Chris LaCivita? No. But Change at the RNC, huh? Hello Tower card for the reading. Boom. All right, let me see here. Yeah, Deania Bennett, there is no money in the RNC. Yeah. And all the GOP need it for campaigns. Yes. It might be a little bit too late. It's already toward the end of February. The election is November 5th, and the Republican coffers across the country are dusty as cobwebs. There's a plan here that does not involve Trump stealing all the Republican money for all of his legal mess that he caused himself. Here's a temperance, trying to get things back in order. I still think Democrats are going to win big in November. Maybe the RNC can make things better for themselves for 2028, but this year. Anyway, all right. Let's go on to all new Maggie, who had a question at 4140. 4140. Thank you for being here. Thank you for going through the news with me. All right. The DOJ doesn't always announce when they are investigating a crime. True. So, on the down low, is AG Garland investigating? Well, I wouldn't say Garland. Is the DOJ investigating Comer and Jordon for the whole Russian puppet situation? Jenny Straunch is saying, have you noticed you're getting the temperance card in a lot in your readings today? Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I'm glad to see it, honestly. Like I said, we had a full moon this morning. That can always lead to things being a little hyped up, but also that would be reality starting to sink in, which would be nice. Yes, Raymond, the T is for tacky. So, DOJ, are you investigating Comer and Jordon? Russian stooges that they are. Comer, cash meters, that was so funny. I get the feeling he's not very bright. Oh, that will never not be funny. Because it's true. 6 of Cups. You know, Jack Smith is working on it. Him and his team are working on it, but they haven't even gone after these jerks for January 6th yet publicly. So that's why I say I'm not specifically reading if Garland's involved. I'm wondering if it's either someone else in the regular DOJ or a special like Jack Smith or something like that. But Russian puppet, Comer, they being investigated. Jimmy Jim Jordan, are you being investigated? Well, Comer, King of Swords, he goes out there and runs his mouth. I have been picking up that if he hasn't already, I think Hunter Biden might go after these guys civilly for a lot of money for trying to drag him through the mud. Justice card, abusing their power. Because speech and debate clause, yeah, that's not going to fly here. Not the way you willfully knew this stuff wasn't real and you just kept pushing it. And even now, these guys are going out there and still pushing this. I'm serious. Comer is still out there pushing this. Yeah, you're gonna have problems. Jimmy Jim, Page of Cups, Ace of Swords, Queen of Wands. I think Comer is more. They're going to try to hang this more on Comer's neck than anybody else's, but there is a sort of truth coming for Jimmy Jim, and not just him. There's a whole group of them, and us our relief. So, is the DOJ? Is it about the Russian puppetry part of this? I don't think so. Yeah, they're out there running their mouths over and over and over and over without ceasing. 3 of Cups, King of Pentacles, 10 of Cups. This isn't a group of Republicans. This is like a Comer. This is hanging him out to dry. But I think it's not like a yes, and I'm not getting a no. I'm getting a, there's a Jan 6 thing. It's just kind of hanging right there. That's what I'm getting. Okay. Lisa 4-4. Please do throw that in the description or in the chat tomorrow before I come on. Please, oh please. Thank you. All right, at 47 minutes, Star Melody Elizabeth B. Some voters in Michigan are punishing Joe Biden by not voting for him because of his not calling for a ceasefire in Gaza. Will they wake up and realize their actions have consequences if Trump is elected? Yes, there was I saw this, I imagine you saw it too on MSNBC. They were talking to some Michigan voters, some of whom were saying that because of what's happening to the people in Gaza who are not Hamas, that they will not vote for Joe Biden no matter what he does. And then there were 2 others saying that if Joe Biden called for an immediate ceasefire, they might be persuaded. But also it looked like the youngest person there. She said when they were said, if you don't vote for Joe Biden, Trump might get in. And the older of the 2, the male of the 2 people who said no way they were going to vote for Biden, he said, well, it's better to have short-term pain and long-term gain about Trump getting into office. And I'm like, you're kidding, right? And the younger of the 2 people who said they could be persuaded, she said, those people are dying. And how is our democracy more important than their deaths? I was like, wow, you're young. You're very young, and you do not see the big picture. And I applaud your caring about others, because there are people out there who don't care about anybody but themselves. So it's good that she does care about other human beings. But if we lose our democracy, that's going to become worse. Authoritarianism causes a lot of death. A lot of death. And suffering. Yeah. Either side, Democrats or Republicans, who have an everything or nothing mentality, I really don't have much patience for that. Democracy is messy. And it's frustrating. But if you lose it, compared to authoritarianism, it's a dream. So the question was, are these people going to wake up? The young person, I think I know this sounds horribly condescending, but I think she'll grow out of it. She'll learn how democracy stops this stuff from happening. But the others, you realize that when Trump says that he could stop the fighting in Ukraine and the fighting in Gaza and all of that in a day, it's because he would just let the aggressors, however you view them, he would let the aggressors just run roughshod and just mow people down. Because that's how Donald Trump thinks. So, and frankly, I think that Donald Trump, as far as one side mowing down the other, I don't think he would even care which one got mowed down. I really don't. Certainly if there was something in it for him, he wouldn't stand with Israel. Are you kidding? Yeah. Chariot. This is important. Star, 2 of Pentacles, 8 of Swords, 6 of Swords, Ace of Pentacles. They're just there. They're just going to be some people who are going to vote this way. Nobody gets it right all the time. And I understand that. Sometimes they believe the lies that are being told to them. Sometimes they get caught up in their own emotions on something. But it's also a matter of they are not speaking for half of the electorate. So I'm getting a kind of energy. I do get here, I don't know why it just told me, this does feel like Ukraine getting some money. Please, 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 please. I don't know why that just popped up there, but that's what I got. So, yeah, there's not much. Some of these people, there's nothing you can do. Same way, if you have family members or what have you, who are MAGA, you're not going to convince them. Maybe a couple of you have managed, and that's impressive. But a lot of MAGA, they're not listening. No. And Democrats who are just determined to say we have to have a third party now, you're not going to convince them otherwise. The guy who's actually running No Labels was the No Labels party. He was on MSNBC, and Michael Steele and I can't remember who else was on the panel, but they were just calling him out and saying, you realize this would hand the election to Donald Trump. He's like, oh, absolutely not. And you could throw reality at him every which way. Nope. Not going to see it. No matter what they said, nope. Blinders glued to the sides of their faces. So, anyway. All right. But we're going to be okay. I really do believe that. All right. At 54:20. And think about all the things you've already survived. Seriously. The entire Trump presidency, a pandemic, and so much more. And you're still here, and you're still fighting the good fight. Thank you. In a lawful, peaceful way. Thank you. All right. At Oma Sheila the Quilter at 54:50 asked, will there be a Democratic supermajority in the House and the Senate after the 2024 election? Then I want to do, there's an international question that's been sitting here for a couple of days. I want to make sure I at least tell you what I found out. So it would be a Democratic supermajority in the House, the Senate, after the 2024 elections. So in 2025, the bulk of 2025. Supermajority in the House, supermajority in the Senate. We'll see what the cards say, but the energy does not feel great. In the House, all right, that's America. And believe me, people are sick of the extremism. And women are going to go out and vote in a big way. But I don't know if that's going to give us a supermajority. Because no matter how bad things are, there are just a lot of areas in this country. There is a lot of power going to states with very, very small populations who have an inordinate amount of power. In the Senate, I'm not sure are enough Republicans even on the ballot this time in areas where Democrats could take over. Because in Knight of Pentacles, he seems kind of relaxed. Hemmed in, which would be limitations. So I'm not getting a supermajority in either. But that would be great. Joe G says, how about a simple majority? Let's look. At 5730. 5730. Simple majority. Save. Speaker Hakeem Jeffries, anyone? Yes, please. House. Simple majority in the Senate. Cheryl Clark says a lot of Republicans are dropping out. Well, that could be good, but are they necessarily in purple areas? Knight of Pentacles. I hope that means Republicans being complacent and not them having reason to be complacent. All right. Well, Democrats have the simple majority in the House. I don't like this far-right communication. Yeah, people are going to vote. This is the truth. But this is a plan with communication. Please tell me the far right isn't going to try to do something stupid come next January. Like saying, nope. Speaker Mikey, he hates everything that isn't Christian nationalism, fascist Christian nationalism. He said that he voted to not certify Joe Biden's election. Chariot, Justice, Temperance. Ooh, major arcana in the Senate. And these are all good cards for reality, fairness. It feels good for the Senate. But in the House, there's truth, and that's good, but there's weirdness here. There's some little dastardly plan. But stupid. It's a stupid plan because it's not going to work. We're going to be okay. We really will. But understand that these people, they're going to try to do all kinds of stuff. And we just have to be like, saw that coming a mile away. Now let's deal with it and get past it. Yeah. I'm afraid there's no point at which this all just becomes smooth sailing. But as long as we go out and vote, and we vote blue, we're going to be okay. Thank you, CC Ryder. Thank you. All right, at 1 hour for 1 hour 101. Let's just do 101. Okay. Card Cap Torvency. I'm probably mispronouncing that somehow. Anyway, I had a question. I'm worried about my country. I'm writing to you from Italy. The government now in power is doing a lot of damage. Do you see a change? Well, okay, so I actually wanted more information on this. So I went looking around and I ended up on, there is a great blog out there, if you don't read it already, by Marjorie Orr, ORR. And she does blog posts on what looks like the old blogger framework. But she has a huge blog where she covers political questions, what's going on in the world, sometimes celebrities or whatever. And she does these astrology posts. Well, she did one for the new prime minister of Italy when she got into power. And I want to say it was in 2022, something like that. And what it said there, for what it's worth, is that, because Marjorie, she usually is pretty spot on which way the energy's flowing. She did say that, first of all, the names just went straight out of my head. I am so sorry. You have the female leader. You have the male leader who used to be in charge, who is apparently is sexist blankety blank. And he's trying to make life difficult for her. But Marjorie was saying that she has quite a bit of luck until Meloni. Thank you. Prime Minister Meloni. Thank you. She's far right. Yes. Mussolini's granddaughter praises her. Yeah, it's awful. She's awful. But Marjorie was saying back in 2022 that Meloni would have a lot of luck through 2023, and that was it. So her luck astrologically may be waning, and that should always help. Brian says the female leader is the niece of Mussolini. Really? I thought. I don't. Anyway, let's have a look. What's going to happen to Meloni? Why? Authoritarianism is heinous. Why can't they see that? I don't. You know what? I love Tears for Fears, but not everybody wants to rule the world. Really. Some of us want there to be democracy all over the world. High Priestess. Ace of Cups, 9 of Wands, 4 of Swords, Lover's card, 6 of Wands. What's going on? What's going on in Italy that your people are voting for the far right? Oh, Benna Beckmeyer, thank you. What's going on? I mean, I know that there's fear of immigration. There's obviously, after the pandemic, there was a lot of financial strain. Because on the one hand, I've got her energy, this is almost like legislative silence. It's or power of a leader. It just comes to a pause or a stop. A big dog, Mom. Thank you. Thank you. But that doesn't mean that the far right is over. Thank you, Lois. Thank you. So, Italian voters, if you all come out and vote for democracy, you're going to put these jerks you're going to put them in the dustbin of history. Rose is saying, I used to live there and the North leans towards communism. Really? Yeah, Elizabeth, what are they thinking? Yeah. So, really? It doesn't feel like you're going to be out of the woods. For her specifically, she might be getting too much pushback from even if there's something farther to the right, because the fact that she's a woman just, oh my gosh, horrors of horrors for the patriarchy, a woman with power. Yeah. So I don't know. Sandy Trunks, shout, let it all out. These are the things I can do without. Yes. I think that would be the perfect answer to this. I wish I had better news. It's a beautiful country. I have vacationed there, and it is beautiful. But it's kind of like the red states in the United States. It's kind of like our red states. Yes, there are blue people living in red states, absolutely. But there are a whole lot of red people who are voting against their own interests. And that's the thing about Alabama that's kind of making me crazy. Because the people who are caught up in that mess for INF treatments, they're not all blue. They're not all Democrats. There is no Democrats only IVF treatment center. They're from both parties. And the ones who voted for and continue to vote for Republicans, you did this to yourselves. You made the decision to put these people in power. And you thought they'd never come for you and what you want and what you're trying to do. And I'm sure they'll get it sorted out soon. You hope. And you hope it gets sorted out in a way that benefits you. But you're doing this to yourselves. You're doing it to us on the other side of the aisle too, but you're doing this to yourselves. So you don't have anybody to blame but yourself. Vote blue. It's worth it. Excuse me. Live a better life. Vote for Democrats. All right. That is, I've gone over, but that's okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here and going through all of this with me. It is 1:27 p.m. Wow. It's 1:27 p.m. here in Chicago. At 3 o'clock, I'll be over on the Creative Sprints channel to do Creative Sprints. You are always welcome. And also tonight from 8 to 10 p.m., it's Patreon. It's our monthly Patreon social. So we will be meeting up there. Link, if you'd like to join in, give it a try. Come on screen, meet people. And we all talk and have discussions, and it's good stuff. The link is in the description box. And like I said, I don't have huge expensive tiers. I really don't. They're all very, very reasonably priced. And Sarah just sent me a message saying that she was trying to get the some kind of cover up there. And so that's taken care of too. All right. Thank you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. You are not alone. We are in this together, and there are good days ahead. There are. All right. So hang in there, and I will see you right back here. If I don't see you tonight, I'll see you right back here tomorrow. Same cat time, same cat channel. All right. Take care.